Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday live stream. We got a ton of stuff to go over, so let's just jump right into it. First of all, I got a guest today, and this guest is going to help me talk about the things that you must do so you don't lose everything like a couple of people have lost and are continuing to lose. Again, it doesn't matter how high you go and what kind of lunar mission you're going to the moon. It doesn't matter how much you make. It's all about how much you keep. And to that end, Wes, my man from Smart Money Tracking, is here for the show for the second time. Wes, thanks for jumping in.
Thanks for having me on, Rob. It's been a while, and happy to be back on.
Yeah, man, this is crazy. First of all, if you don't follow Wes over at Smart Money Tracking, we've got his YouTube channel here and also on X. I linked that in the description. And I will say this is quite the flex you have here, Wes, with your different Lambos and cars and things like that. I still say that if you really want to flex on people, especially in my age bracket, you do something like this. Get yourself a 2018 Dodge Grand Caravan, ton of room, great mileage, totally paid off. Oh, that's the ultimate flex. That's the ultimate flex right there for older people. So
the Lambo was rented as well, which makes it even worse. But the motorbike is mine. I literally just got my dream motorbike, so I'm so buzzing about that.
Ooh, let me see this one. Oh yeah. That was your dream bike. I saw this.
Yeah. I had a 600. It's a Gixxer. I had a 600, but that's a 750. The next stop's 1,000, but it's so fast, man. I didn't think it was gonna be that fast. I don't even think I need 1,000 cc. And I quite enjoy being alive, so I don't want to exit the game just yet.
Yeah, man, I don't blame you. That's what it all comes down to. So today, just like the title and thumbnail suggests, because you've got a good way to protect yourself, I talk about how people are losing everything around me. And I see it, and it keeps happening again and again and again. It just never stops. And what I'm taking a look at is just amazing things. First of all, there's things that you can't help, but it's gonna play in this part. My friend Steven, we've been talking this last 3 days or so. He owns a San Juan smokehouse. Fire ripped through, and now this is what it looks like. And it's just pretty much devastation across the board. And you lose everything in a fire. And the question you have to ask yourself is, well, this is, of course, a restaurant. What does it have to do with me, Rob? Well, let's just say that you have your seed phrase and your mnemonic phrase, and you wrote it on a piece of paper, and your house gets lit up, just like the people in LA. What do you do then? Well, everything's just gone. This actually didn't happen the same way. My friend Jim, we talked about this before, about a month ago or so, his entire life savings is gone. And this was from a hack because of hackers that got into his Google Authenticator app, and they stole out from his centralized exchange, which was MEXC and Coinbase. Also, his ledger was hacked. And we have a thing about why that actually happened. The FBI is investigating. But again, doesn't matter how much you make, it's how much you keep. And Jim's just lost everything. And now recently we had Ron from Ron's Basement on, who was a big gold and silver guy for his entire life. Started a meme coin called Unicorn Fart Dust. I know it sounds hilarious, but it was number 340, I think, by market cap. And Ron just yesterday lost millions of dollars because of a hack from his hot wallet, which was his Phantom. And the way that it happened was that he got contacted by a scammer saying he wants to do an interview. He clicked on Zoom links just to talk to these people. He did an actual interview, and right after the interview, everything was gone. So the question that I have for Wes is, how do you stop this? How do you stop all these different hacks and problems and stuff like that? And how do you protect your, let's just talk about how you protect yourself from like the physical disasters, because I'm talking to people until I'm blue in the face and they're not listening to me. So what do you got, Wes?
It's one of the strangest things about this industry, right? The way we store our cryptocurrency is mostly on a piece of paper with a bunch of words. So it can be extremely risky, and there's ways to mitigate that. And I would say it's quite similar to the way you would diversify into the markets, right? You wouldn't have 100% in the video. You wouldn't have 100%, for example, in real estate. You would diversify. So you would have some in metals, some in gold, some in Bitcoin, some in real estate, some in different kind of assets. And it's the same with storing your cryptos, the way I treat it. So I actually store mine in different hardware wallets. So for example, I don't want to have 100% of my assets inside Ledger, just in case. I know, God forbid, they've been absolutely amazing. They've got a great track record. But if they went down, if they got hacked, if something happened, if there was some sort of breach, I wouldn't want 100% of my crypto to be lost or gone. So I actually diversify into different wallets. The main two I use are Ledger and Tangent. I split up my, I've got around 7 wallets in total, and then I split up my portfolio into different percentages. So for example, 10 to 15% in different wallets, just in case. This is just me. I'm a very safety first person. Why is it in a vault in a bank? Because I know it's a crypto movement, right? I'm very decentralized finance. I know the banks, have made a lot out of the general public. So I am a crypto maxi, but if there's a fire, like you mentioned, and you have your seed phrase in your house, even though, you feel like it's a super safe environment, it's inside your house, there's a fire, your seed phrase gets burned, your laptop gets burned, you might actually not have access to your cryptocurrency, right? So if you are going to do it that way, then the only option is a safe, and it has to be a very, very solid, fireproof safe. I mean, look at the size of those fires. And you're going to have to hope that you're able to get access to it, and there's no complications, because it's likely going to be written on a piece of paper. Obviously, goes without saying, don't ever store your seed phrase on a phone. Don't take a picture of it. And I always back up my hot wallets with a ledger as well, right? So even if I'm using Phantom, I'll connect my ledger to Phantom. So on Solana, I'll connect my ledger to Solana, and then I'll use. You don't want to keep jumping between hardware wallets when you're trying to do transactions, right? So I have wallets, hot wallets, with small amounts of money for me to degen and to buy things that money I'm prepared to lose, and then I'll take profits and put it onto my ledgers. So mine is all stored in vaults. I'm also a little bit, even gone a step too far, and I haven't put my entire seed phrase in that vault. Okay, so it's only got a certain amount of the seed phrase in the vault, just in case, I don't know, for some reason someone needs access to that vault. They're going to have all of my savings at the tip of their fingers just by entering a code into a ledger. They can take all of my money, right? It's probably never going to happen. It's a secure bank, but the other parts of the seed phrase are elsewhere, so only some of it's on there. So it's a bit of an issue for me if I really need to move some stuff around or sell it. I have to go to one location, then I have to go to the second location, but it prevents me having to worry about, if something got hacked, if something went out of that account, I'd be convinced that someone actually gone into my vault and took the money out, and I wouldn't be able to prove it either other way, right?
That's true. So let me ask you this. That's a great point. Yeah, I love talking to different people because not everybody has all the answers. So Wes, when you put in your 24 words, how many out of those 24 words for your mnemonic phrase, or 12 words, whichever one you're using, how many of those are in the bank? Is it like you did half, or did you leave just a couple off and you memorized them? What do you do with the words that you don't have there?
Yeah, so there is around 70% of the words that are on the paper.
Okay.
It would still be very hard to brute force it. I mean, if you sat around and tried to brute force it forever, you might get in, but it would be very hard for someone to pick it up and just access it. Yeah. Then the other words don't mean anything, right? Because no one can do anything with them, really. So you can give them to who you want. So you can give them to your family members. You can give them to your close friends. Hey, can you look after this? It doesn't matter where you put it. You could even store it online. You could take a picture of it, because it's only going to be 30% of a bunch of words, which people aren't really going to know much about, right? So the other 30% is fine. You can scatter them around as many places as you want, and then you've got the main bulk of it in your couple of vaults.
So that was it. So everybody, what we just as a recap, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't even, listen to Wes. He likes a ledger, he likes a tangent, but he doesn't have 100% on just 2. It sounds like he's got 7 different wallets out there. And I got to tell you, every security expert I've ever talked to said the ones that actually make it are the ones that are the most paranoid. I know it sounds crazy, but I got to tell you, what sounds even crazier? Waking up and going, where the hell's all my crypto? I had my life savings on it, and now I have absolutely zero. What the hell just happened? So yeah, I got to go for that. And then Wes, talking about the hot wallets, the Phantoms, the MetaMask, things like that.
Yeah.
You connect your your ledger to it, so they can, you can access it. Do you have any videos on that on your new channel, or do you just have like, I know how to do it, so that's it?
I don't have any videos like that on the channel. Obviously, the market's been crazy, so I'm trying to keep up with that. But I am looking to, over the next 6 months, to do videos for beginners, tutorials, how to store your crypto, how to connect your ledger to Phantom. But there is tons of great channels out there. If you search on YouTube, there's some really good channels with guides on how to look after your cryptocurrency. I didn't really start to take it seriously until my second cycle. So my first cycle, obviously ledgers, and buying 7 ledgers is expensive, guys, right? They're like 200 each. So I didn't really take it serious until I'd got over 20,000-30,000, because it was money that I didn't want to lose. And I started crypto with 2,000, I think, and I wasn't too worried at the time. But then as it became a serious amount of money, I was like, if I lost this, it's really going to hurt me bad. So it depends what your situation is. If you're trading with hundreds of thousands, I would take it very seriously, guys, because you don't want to lose that kind of money. You're on mute, Mike.
Yeah. Before we move on, there's a little bit of a buzz coming in. Do me
Oh,
a
is
favor, Wes. If you got like any kind of audio device, turn down the gain if you could.
Yep.
There it was. I should have done that before. So sorry, everybody. Thanks, everybody in the comment section for notifying us about the buzz. Maybe I can cut that out in post-production. So, okay, last thing I will say is about this. It's about connecting your cold device to your hot wallet. You can do that. Me personally, though, I just look at my hot wallet and I think to myself, you know what? It's gone. And if you keep that mentality, you can do one of two things. This is what's great about it. You can use Wes's ideas, which sounds pretty solid if you want to do something like that. Or you can just go, let's go with Rob, and just like whatever hot wallet I have, I just assume it's going to be gone at some point. If you do something like that, I think you'll be a little bit more safer. So that's what I have on that piece. Anything else on that one, Wes?
Yeah, you've covered it. Absolutely.
All right. So we've got that piece. So everybody, again, it's not how much you make, it is how much you keep. And also for a little bit of context, there was a great video that was put out by, by Cyber Skrilla. Crypto address scam exposed. I didn't know that people could do this, but you can make a vanity address from different crypto projects. And you can, essentially what they're doing is they're sending you crypto into your wallets, because they can just see any kind of wallet. Then they can make a wallet out of, like, if your wallet starts with AZX3 and the last 4 is, 983B, you can make a wallet like that as a vanity address. You can send somebody some funds, and then they can think it's somebody that they know and send you. And I guess this is going on all the time. So there was a great video. I linked in the description. I didn't know that actually existed until this morning. So great video by Cyber Skrilla.
Yeah, I never heard of that. Crazy.
I know, right? And now it is. Sometimes we have too much stuff. And then also, before we go on, Wes, this was great stuff talking about how to protect your wealth. Now let's talk about how you make some wealth. So before we get into like today's news, I just want to go over like what Wes does and why he's been so successful. And actually, before we get into that, talk about what happened to your YouTube channel. And that's a good story.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been building it for like a year and a half, 2 years. We really blew up. I think we got to about 20,000 subscribers. Thanks to you as well, because we had a bunch of your guys come over when I featured on the channel. I think I had a few thousand subscribers from that. So great guys you've got as well. I jumped in the Discord. Really good guys. I don't actually know. I'm still trying to figure it out. The legal team have written to YouTube, so we're still waiting to hear back. But I didn't get any warnings. I didn't get any ideas of what happened. There was no explanation. They said there was a violation of community rules. So I looked through the community rules, and it's really hard because there's like 20 different things that it could be. I think it might be links, maybe a link to an exchange that I had in the description, that maybe the exchange is no longer on a list, an approval list or something like that. It's difficult because you lose. I lost everything, and they didn't tell me. I don't know why. That's the worst reason, right? I don't even know how to correct it going forward. because I don't know what I've done wrong. So all my content was there. I stupidly didn't back everything up as well. So all my tutorials were there about
Yeah.
taking profit strategies, DCAing in the bear market, DCAing out in the bull run. A lot of useful content for people, and I've had people inboxing me saying, I can't see your content, I can't see those videos. So yeah, it's been really frustrating, but I'm starting to build back now. I think we've just got back up to 1,000 subscribers, and we're going to get back on the content as well. So yeah, strange one. I'm taking it the full way though. I'm going to take it to as far as I can go, even the lawsuit. I did a little bit of research, and I saw a few YouTubers, including one who had 1 million subscribers. They took him down, and with no explanation, very similar to mine. And he appealed, and again, they didn't discuss it. They just said you won't be allowed back. And there's been a lot of cases where they've been losing. So people have been taken into court, and they've actually been losing because there was no explanations, there was no viable reasons. And if anyone who watches my channel, I go through all of this is not financial advice, do your own research, investing in crypto is highly risky. And I also have it plastered all over my channel. So the only thing I can think is it's links. So on my new channel, I've taken all the links out of the descriptions, because I don't want to spend a year or 2 years to lose everything again, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. So that's the YouTube story. Let's talk about the story of what you're doing to gain that wealth that we just talked about protecting. So how do you do this?
So basically, let's not kid ourselves, right? We're deep into a bull run, right? We're deep into the bull run. The bull run started down here back in 2022 to 2023. So obviously, like you, Rob, I was DCAing, I was accumulating, slowly just buying, wasn't putting my full bags in. I was buying. I think I stopped buying somewhere around 23, 24 K when we started to break over this key resistance. And it's just been absolutely insane. I think we've had more things that we could have ever dreamed of this cycle. BlackRock getting into the space, and a Bitcoin ETF, countries accumulating. The president has a crypto company. The president is talking about accumulating Bitcoin. I think it's absolutely bonkers how much we've had this cycle. So for me personally, I'm not buying at these levels. I'm DCAing out. So, it's very, very simple. I literally buy in the bear market when we're down here. And then let's say this is the top of the market. I just DCA out. No one knows where the top's going to be. No one can predict the top. The top could have been here, right? Nobody knows. And I just take profits all the way up. So if you go back and watch my video I posted 4 or 5 days ago on my channel, you'll see I posted a video that I was selling. So I've got 3 sell targets, so 3 DCA outs. So I've hit my DCA out 1, which was back in March, somewhere around here, I think. And then I got my DCA out 2, I hit last week. So recently, that's my second sell. Still a lot of my portfolio is still up. I know a lot of you might got into the market late, but bear in mind, we're still like 13x up on Casper. We're still 13x up on Render, 10x up on Solana. A lot of people are still in profits who got into the bear market, and the market is pumped a lot. We're coming to the last year of the cycle, right? It moves in cycles. Now I just have my last DCA out, which is DCA out 3. And this is my moon bag, so to speak. So I've kind of reduced the risks of making a loss. I can't make a loss, right? Because I've already taken out my initials and I've already taken profits. But this keeps me in the game, this DCA 3. So let's say we do go into a parabolic bull run, because I do think we still have another leg up here. I don't think the market's coming to an end, right? The USA are looking to accumulate a stockpile of crypto. There's still catalysts. We've got interest rate cuts that are still coming. There's still many catalysts that could carry the market up, especially a strategic reserve. If America are going to accumulate 1 or 2%, who knows? Maybe Bitcoin can go to 200K, 300K. So I've still got my foot in the sand, so to speak, that if the market does go up, I still have exposure, and I'm not getting FOMO. I haven't sold all of my portfolio. I'm not going to be like, oh, I wish I had not have sold. I wish I was still in the market. So I don't try to time tops or bottoms. I literally DCA in the bear market and then sell on the way up. And this is a way to preserve, because when we come down, guys, when the market comes down, it comes down so fast. It really does. And if you look at the S&P, I'm looking at the S&P because crypto has changed so much from last cycle. I don't like to compare charts to 2021, 2017, because we've had so much progression with ETFs, institutions. retail was selling their Bitcoin, institutions were buying Bitcoin, right? It's been a massive institutional rally. So the S&P hasn't changed so much, and we're kind of replicating what happened last cycle in the S&P, right? We went into this channel, we climbed up the channel. After a few years or so, we ended up breaking this key support, which I would call the bull run support line, and then we went into a bear market. How similar is it that we're looking at right now? We've come into this channel, we've climbed up and up and up, and I believe that when we break this channel, we're going to have a repeat of what happened in the previous cycle. Now, that's just my speculation. I've been wrong in the past, guys, so I'm not going to be right all the time, but that's how I'm looking at it. And if we do break this bottom support here, I will probably sell the rest of my crypto, because Bitcoin still follows TradFi, it still follows tech stocks, still follows the S&P. For now, it might break away if we get a strategic reserve, but for now, it still kind of follows tech stocks.
Yeah, gotcha. And that's just another way to look at things. Like everybody has a different way of seeing it. Like me personally, like I take a look at it, I go, like I've taken some profits along the way, just like actually 2 or 3 months ago. Yeah, roughly about, but I had to, because I had to take some profits because I had to buy a real estate property, which was too good of a deal to pass by. And because of that, I mean, it wasn't a huge, enormous chunk, but you have to take profits along the way. For me, that's just some of my rules. But when Molt's got a good question, taking a look at the DCA 123, what percentages were taken? Now, Wes, are we talking about like you took like 33%, 50% off the table, or was it like 2%, 5%, something around there?
Very good question. And this market moves so fast. My initial strategy was 30%, 30%, 30%, or 33%, 33%. But the market moves so fast that I hate to say it, guys, but I did sell 50% of my remaining balance on this play. So you could say I technically have around 20% still in the market. Okay. I didn't want to sell that much. I really didn't. But after Trump launched his meme coin, and then the Trump meme coin was fine. And I was like, this is great. This is another Doge. This is going to bring loads of retail in the market. It's probably going to continue to trend to the upside because every exchange is going to market it. Every KOL is going to market it. It was great, right? It was a great play. Then they launched Mnemonic 2 days later, and we saw liquidity get sucked out of the market from altcoins. And I was like, I don't know if this is a move for crypto long term, or if this is just a move for a select few. And it felt like a liquidity grab. And obviously I track on-chain, the on-chain data, and I saw a lot of insiders. They made a lot of money, right? A select few people made tens of millions, and it's getting sucked from new people coming into the space, and then they don't tell their friends about this Trump coin, right? Because they're embarrassed now. They bought the top, they're down 50, 60%. It's not how it works, right? It's not how the organic growth works. So I sold 50% because of that. It's predominantly because of that. When everything started to melt, altcoins started to come down. I sold a lot of my altcoins as well, and I think they're down like 50% from where I sold. I hope they bounce back. I don't want anybody to lose any money. I really do. I hope that I made the wrong decision, and I hope it rallies. But for me, I just had to take some more profits off the table, and now I'm on my final 20%.
Well, that's what. Okay, so this is the thing. Everybody's goals are different. Everybody's sites are different. My goals are not your goals. Wes's goals are not your goals. Of course, whatever you guys want to do. The question then becomes, so we took those profits out. Are you waiting on the sidelines until it crashes, or are you doing something else with it? 312 Girl asks, where do you put your profits? Now, do you put them into stables? Do you put them into other assets? Do you put them into, say, like real estate? What do you do with that?
Good question. Great question. So if I show you this chart, actually, what I'm trying to do is preserve capital for the next bear market, right? That's where you make life-changing money. I think Render done a 25x. That's 10K to $250,000. So every 10K I can preserve. I've just done that this cycle. I'm pretty sure I can do that again next cycle. Hey, maybe SUI comes down 95%. I want to make sure that I've got money to buy SUI, because there's going to be token unlocks going into the bear market on SUI. A lot of the tokens are locked up. What happens when the unlocks happen in a bear market? People tend to sell off. And I want to make sure that I have capital to take advantage of those positions if they do come down 70%, 90%. This is the smart money stable indicators. So this basically shows us all of the smartest people in crypto, all of the highly profitable investors. This is funds, this is Pantera, this is a lot of the institutions. you're looking at billions and billions of dollars that are in stablecoin balances. So as you go into a bull run, they start to take profits, and as you go into a bear market, they start to buy. Right? And to me, there's no better data than this. There is literally no better data than this. They literally nail the bottom, they nail the top, and they've started to take some profits recently. So this was another thing that flagged up to me. So when we go back into this period here next cycle, you see where they're accumulating, and their balances start to hit lows. So their stablecoin balances are down here at 1%.
Yeah.
So when they start to load here, we're going to see that, okay, the smart money is starting to buy, and we know they have hundreds of billions of dollars they're deploying into the market. So it's going to make it even easier now, this on-chain data, to purchase next cycle. So I'm preserving some of my capital to buy, and I'll just hold that in stables. I'll hold some of it in stables. I've put some into real estate. So I purchased the property back in March when I took some profits off the table. Back in March, I think like Render had done a 25x, like Casper was up 25x, Solana was rallying, it was like $190. So I was like, this is a lot of money. I took some off the table. I purchased some real estate. Yeah. I am interested in stocks, specifically quantum computing. If you look at the quantum computing market cap at the moment, it's currently valued at less than the meme coin market. Okay, quantum computing could potentially revolutionize the whole IT infrastructure in the world, and it's valued at less than meme coins. I think that's crazy. So I'm DCAing into quantum computing stocks whilst they're still undervalued, in my opinion. Now, they might go up, they might go down 50%. I'm going to continue to accumulate them through bull run or bear market, because I think it's going to be a long-term position there. And then I'm going to keep some cash, right? So, and then get ready to buy Bitcoin. What do you think about Bitcoin, Rob? Do you think if we see a strategic reserve, one thing I'm a little bit worried about is if we see a strategic reserve, let's say the S&P loses support and we go into a recession or we go into a bear market, what happens if the USA have agreed to purchase 2%, 1% into BTC? How can BTC go down? I mean, who's going to sell their BTC when they know the United States of America is buying trillions or hundreds of billions of dollars? It's a tough one, right? I don't know if we're going to have an 80% correction if that happens.
I don't know. Well, I'll answer that in a second, but I need you to go back to that stablecoin indicator. That was interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this, you're taking a look at, like you said, like the big people, like the Dan Moreheads, the Pantera Capitals.
Yeah, let me give you an example, actually, of one of the wallets so you guys can understand the size of the money we're talking about here, because it is phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. So let's go and have a look at what's a big project, Ondo. Let's go and check Ondo.
Right.
So we go Ondo, and this is just the smart money we're going to look at. This is not the whale balances. You're going to see how much money there is potentially due to come out of this altcoin market. So this is the smart money balances on Ondo. And if we go value, Pantera Capital, you can see here, wallet. This is all of Pantera Capital's wallet holding Ondo. Value, $154 million in one single wallet. Value, 132 million, 78 million, 67 million, 61 million, 45 million, 30 million. If you think we've seen a crash in altcoins, you will see a crash in altcoins when these guys sell. CMS, 13 million, Republic Capital, 9 million, Chapter 1, 9 million, Coinbase Ventures, 9 million. I mean, Pantera are making Coinbase look like retail, right? With their little purchase there. Shima Capital, 5 million, Digital Currency Group, 3 million. This is just the smart money. This isn't the whales, okay? Right. This is just the institutions and funds. Absolutely bonkers amounts of money there. So when these guys sell, this chart is like a hive, right? So it's showing Pantera's stablecoin balances. It's showing Galaxy Digital Group's balances. It's showing all of the funds, the smart money. And when they start to exit the market, you're going to see altcoins collapse. Okay, so when they start to exit, this chart goes up. So we're kind of looking at a bull run bear market confluence chart of stablecoins here. It's phenomenal. I didn't have this last cycle, and you can see here it's just started to trickle up. You see where it was 1%. It's pushing up now probably to about 5-6%. This is what happens when they're going back into stablecoins. So they're selling altcoins. This is not Bitcoin, by the way, guys. This is Ethereum. This is altcoins. So they are selling and going back into stable coins. We had a little bit of an inflow after Trump announced that there was going to be a stockpile. So after he said there was going to be a strategic stockpile. But again, now today we're seeing selling. And why are we seeing selling, guys? Probably because of NVIDIA, right? NVIDIA has scared the whole market. It's scared the whole market with the sell-off we've had, which is it's now trying to go red again today.
Yeah, hey, these are actually good indicators to take a look at just to give you some type of different point of view. So Wes, this right here, is this your own that you created, this smart money stablecoin indicator? And where can you find this?
I wish. What we'll probably do is actually we could do a video on all of this data because it's phenomenal data.
Okay.
And it's really good for identifying when the end of the market is coming. So this is Nansen, so NANSEN, and it's one of the most powerful tools I've ever used. I probably wouldn't trade without this personally. I really don't make that much from my referrals from this. I genuinely think it's insane. I use it every day. I use it to track smart money. I use it for a lot of my purchases. If you use my referral code, you will get a discount as well. So if you do want Nansen, if you put in, it will ask you for a referral code. And if you put in SMC, so S for sugar, M for mother, C for Charlie, you can use my referral code and you'll get a discount. So you'll get it even cheaper. Yeah, it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal.
That's interesting. I didn't know this existed.
Yeah, absolutely. So okay. I'll just
just put an SMC when you guys sign up, and there it is. If you guys want it, huh?
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
What's that? What's you cut out?
No, yeah, sorry, carry on. Yeah, you're all good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if you guys want to see something like that, put it in the comments section and we'll go. So Wes, that was a good overview of what's going on and how you're actually doing things and tracking the smart money. And like we say, big money isn't always smart money. There's a big difference. Sometimes big money is just big money, and they're just as dumb as the people that don't really understand what's going on. They just have a boatload of cash. So smart money is actually something to actually take a look at. Well, I appreciate that. So to get back to your original question, Wes, which was what do you think is going to happen with this Bitcoin strategic reserve? If we take a look, and first of all, how's the market doing today? It's doing pretty good. I mean, after yesterday and the NVIDIA and the DeepSeek and all the different problems that are going on in the AI and the macro events, we can see that Bitcoin's doing just fine. I mean, 102, almost 103,000, 24 hours at 1.5%. One thing to note, though, in the top 10, if you're taking a look here, the big winner in the top 10 is XRP. We'll talk about that in a second of why that is. But strategic reserve, I don't think it's going to happen nationwide. I think it's going to happen state by state first. These are the 11 states so far that have put into play a legislation to get it passed for a statewide strategic reserve. So we'll see if it actually goes through. But again, these are just initiatives being put forth by the legislative bodies that comprise those different states. And just to add one more, it looks like Arizona moves forward with the Bitcoin reserve legislation. I don't think we've covered this. This just happened about 2 or 3 hours ago. So there was an act, the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act, SB 1025, co-sponsored by Senator Wendy Rogers and Rep. Jeff Wenninger by the Arizona State Senate Finance Committee with a 5-2 vote. Bill will now move to the Senate for final debate and amendments. Approval by the Senate would advance the bill. What does this do? The bill allows up to 10% of a government's entities or public funds to be invested in Bitcoin and other digital assets. Let that go where it may. And this opens the door for pension funds to allocate resources to Bitcoin, increasing public interest. And this is actually the bill that has passed not in the Senate, but in the committee. So now it has to go from the committee to the Senate for them to vote on, and another body for it to actually go through. So if everybody thinks it's going to happen like tomorrow, it's not going to happen tomorrow. It's going to take a very long process because that's just the wheels of justice, the wheels of legislation in Congress moving forward. So I personally think that once we have enough states go for it, that'll give us enough tailwinds for then the Senate to actually go through and say, yes, this is what the nation wants, and then we'll get a strategic reserve. And that could happen, I don't know, that could take 6, 8, up to a year or more. but I think it's a step in the right direction. So that's where I'm going for the U.S. Wes, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So what would be, I really don't know on this, Rob. I mean, what would be your strategy? So if you think, let's say it does happen in 6 months to a year, under my understanding, we're going to be heading towards some sort of a pullback or a bear market territory, right? From the 4-year cycles. If history repeats, it doesn't always, but I'd rather go with what the history. What happens if we go into a bear market and there's a strategic reserve approval? I don't know. I guess it's going to depend on how much money's coming in. So how much money's flowing in, what the agreement is for the strategic reserve. Are they going to buy every quarter? Is it going to be written down how much they're allocating in? Are we going to get a sell the news event? Are we going to get a buy the news event? I really don't know how it's going to go. I'll probably trade it because I'm an absolute degenerate. So I'll probably trade it anyway. You don't have to hold massive spot bags, right? Once you've taken profits off the table, I probably will trade with 10% anyway, right? With some stop losses and some very, low risk plays. But I don't know how to call it right now. And I guess we'll have to see where we are with interest rates and the market. The real estate market hasn't crashed yet. So sometimes what happens is you get a crash in real estate and then people sell stocks and crypto to buy real estate. Real estate pumps. And then people start to sell real estate to go back into stocks in the stock market crash, right? So it's like a spin. So that would be interesting to see if we see real estate come down, to see that transition, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, everything you said was correct. Everything was spot on. I just take a look at things and I don't know where things are going to go. I know that I have my different levels, and there's a link in the description where I talk about when I'm going to sell 80% of all my crypto. And there's different things we take a look at. Take a look at pi cycle tops and the RBZ scores and pull multiples, all the boring stuff that I think is exciting for some people because they want to know when they're going to actually get out. But I got to tell you, I've been talking a lot about Bitcoin because I have really very little faith in the vast majority of altcoins for what they do. I think most are worthless, and I think most are cash grabs. But for Bitcoin, if it comes through, and like I said before, someone just said, oh, so now it's going to be 6 months to a year? Is that how long it's going to take? Yes, I think so. But even if it does, let's say in 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, we get it. Strategic reserve comes in. Do you really think the other countries are just going to let America sit by and just accumulate Bitcoin in the background? Or will they just like, oh, game theory? We actually have to accumulate ourselves. Because look, there's an AI race going on right now. And depending on who you believe, America might be losing or America might be gaining. Depends on what's going on in China. No one wants to lose that race. And no one wants to lose a backup for the next world reserve currency. And that could be Bitcoin. And you better believe it's not going to happen. So for me, when I take a look at it and go, 80%, I'm going to say 80 to 90% of altcoins, and Bitcoin I have to kind of be a little tempered. Because if this does play out, is a $300,000 Bitcoin off the table? Is a $500,000 Bitcoin off the table? I guess I have to ask that for everybody, especially Wes.
Yeah, I'm with you. Even though my channel has been predominantly altcoins, it's I'm aware that it's pretty much a Ponzi scheme. Last cycle, I got into crypto gaming. It was the meta. I got into metaverse. I got some land in Sandbox, but I sold it all. Right, I'm here to make money. Yes, I love the tech, but I am here to make money, and I will sell everything. This cycle was an AI cycle. That's why I went pretty heavy into render, and I will sell it all, and I probably won't buy it again next cycle, guys. I do love render. I love what they're doing. I love a lot of these altcoins, but this space is very, there's a saying called new shiny coin syndrome. And what happens is next cycle, we might have quantum projects that are breaking the mold and doing all these fun things. And I'm not really going to hodl my render and hodl these other projects I've been holding into next cycle. I'm probably going to play the narratives again and try and get into what's popular, because that's where a lot of the money will flow into, just like AI did with stocks, right? Of people put money in AI, made a lot of money, take profits, move on to the next. It's a shame. It's kind of how the game works, though. So I'm right now, I sold a lot, right? So you guys know I sold around 70-80% in total. And I'm kind of playing BTC, Solana. We're waiting for a Solana ETF. I think there's going to be a Solana ETF approved. Is it great? I think we just saw Grayscale maybe apply for a Solana ETF. So I'm playing Solana, playing lower risk plays. I'm playing BTC. I'm playing Ethereum because if you look how much it's down, it is kind of due a bounce. I'm not a big fan of Ethereum. It's slow. It's expensive. I think faster networks are going to win. You know, when is anything that's been slow and expensive won? You know, Uber wiped out taxis, Airbnb wiped out hotels. I think the same is going to happen with Ethereum. Is probably going to get wiped out by maybe Solana, maybe Sui. One of these chains is going to gain global adoption. So yeah, I'm moving slow into low risk. I still have moon bags in things like AI16Z, virtuals, you know, the big AI projects. But one thing I will say, did you see the CEO of NVIDIA said that AI agents is $1 trillion industry, and virtuals and AI16Z continue to go down. Donald Trump come out and said, I'm investing 500 billion into AI. Those projects continue to go down. And when I looked at them on chain, the insiders and the whales continue to sell. So even though we're seeing these great, massive bullish news events, we're still seeing a sell-off in altcoins. That's a massive red flag. Because what happens when there's no bullish news? What happens when the environment turns negative towards AI agents, right? If they're going down in these good times, we're seeing a few red flags on altcoins, which is why I took some off the table. And it's a tough time. And I think going into lower risk plays is probably the best play here right now.
Nobody ever went broke taking profits. That's what it comes down to. So speaking of good news and alts, this would actually lead us to our last one, which is Ripple and XRP. As we talked about, in the top 10, XRP is up quite a bit, 7-9%, somewhere around there. And the reason is because this is from Ripple itself. 2025 kicks off with a big win for crypto. New money transmitter licenses in New York and Texas. It's amazing to get out of New York, very difficult. New customers onboarded and ramping up hiring across the United States. And we can see that just today, nice little bounce, 288 to, wow, 315, 317, 318. That's pretty good. So that's what's going on with XRP and Ripple. Wes, any thoughts on Ripple and XRP?
First of all, I'm happy. A lot of my friends are holding XRP, so I'm happy for a lot of the guys that have held for so long. And I did rip them on socials as well, which I feel, bad about. But I'm happy that there's a saying, right? Those who survive the dump deserve the pump, and those guys really deserve it because they held longer than I ever could. I couldn't watch things do 20x whilst I'm holding XRP, but there was a diamond-handed community, right? It's almost cult-like. It reminded me of the Cardano, cult holders as well. And those things can hang around and last, and they're finally seeing their moment. I didn't expect it to continue to go up on that second move that we saw recently. But yeah, I'm happy for them. Look, it's not for me, right? The market cap is way too big for me. I'm playing with smaller amounts than a lot of people, right? If I put 5K, 10K into XRP, how much am I going to make here? What's the risk reward? Also, I don't really buy pumps. I buy dumps. I don't buy pumps. And this is certainly not a dump. But who knows, right? Who knows? Something's going on. You don't see a chart like this. You don't see the chart do this without stuff approaching. We're seeing the banks that are integrating with XRP. Who knows? Maybe it goes and continues to rally. It's just there's thousands of altcoins to choose from. And I like to play from a position of strength, and buying XRP here wouldn't be a position of strength, in my opinion.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there. These are just one of those things that actually happen. But I mean, that's again, congratulations to the XRP holders, and hopefully it works out and they become the next big rails. I know there's a big spat between Ripple community, Brad Garlinghouse, and Bitcoin, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve, but that's not what we're here for. We're here just to talk about how to be safe, how to make sure that you actually don't ruin everything, and then just some other options for you. So guys, if you got any questions, we got about 10 minutes or so. I don't want to keep Wes all damn day. He's got stuff to do. So let's get some questions in here. Tony asks, Wes, what's your top quantum computing play? It's a good question, actually.
My top quantum computing, let's go. So I'm going to show you my portfolio, actually. I've got IonQ. So I really, really like IonQ. Is it a time to buy right now? It is having a little bit of a pullback. So IonQ had a massive, massive rally. Again, probably not best to buy pumps. I actually DCA'd in down here, so around 27, 28. If we did return to this support, I'd probably look that be an area of accumulation for a leg to the upside. if don't expect fast gains with quantum computing stocks. This is going to be very slow because there's a lot of developments to come. But one thing people were saying we're 6 years away, 5 years away. Look what just happened with AI, right? The whole game just got flipped on its head. I think the same's probably going to happen with quantum. With tech, we normally surpass our expectations by a lot. And there's a lot of people working on it. There's a lot of money coming in. They tend to grow very fast. And when AI improves, AI is going to be improving quantum computing, and quantum computing is going to be improving AI, right? So IonQ, QMCO, I haven't purchased. So this is on my watch list. I do have Rigetti, so RGTI. This is where we came down to support. So I actually grabbed a bag down here with having a bit of a bounce. So yeah, really like this one. RSI is oversold. Is it going to have a little bit of a backlash off the NVIDIA? Maybe, possibly. But again, the whole market cap of this industry is smaller than meme coins. So I'm not too bothered about buying around these prices. If we push up, we push down, I'm going to DCA out. DCA in. Then my other one I would say is Qubit. So QUBT, quantum computing. This isn't at a bad range, really, because it was at $26 and it's come down to $9. So this was the euphoria. So when Google mentioned about the Willow chip, which was insane, by the way, they pretty much said it outperforms our best computers by trillions of trillions of trillions of trillions, right? Which was phenomenal. Yeah. Did you see the stuff about the Willow chip?
I did not, but look at that.
Can you quickly, you can see if you search Willow chip outperforms, or I can search it on here. I can't remember the exact.
I got it.
Is it Willow chip outperforms?
Google's quantum breakthrough, Willow chip outperforms this. This is on the Express Tribune. Let's actually go through.
Yeah, it was worded in a way that.
Oh wow! Look at that.
There you go.
Well, it looks like Google's entered in the race.
Yeah. It's so fast that it would take our current computer of today, the best computers, longer than the universe has been around to do the same task. If that makes sense, it's phenomenal. And I think this space is very trend driven, right? We run in trends. We had AI, we had gaming. I think we're going into quantum. So those are my three. Yeah, those are my top three.
Awesome. How about this one? I didn't know this. Andrew says Talos is taking off, plus 25% connecting to Hypercycle AI for the first time yesterday. We'll talk about that in a bit. Marty asked a question, what dumps or narratives does Wes look for in projects? Now, do you even look for that, or you just look at like the smart money and go, okay, they're doing that, I'll do that?
Did you say what dumps or narratives?
Yeah. As far as like just narratives, let's just narrow that down to narratives.
Yeah, the narratives, you have to be ahead of the game, right? So, for example, I was listening closely to what Larry Fink was saying in his interviews when he was talking about crypto, and he kept saying, this is Bitcoin is just a step towards the tokenization of assets. So that was a no-brainer. I started to invest in RWA. I had to sit in RWA for so long whilst other sectors pumped. That's one of the hardest things to do when you get into something. You have to have conviction, and just like the XRP guys have done, right? So I held my RWA and eventually ended up hitting 10x. It was 5 months or 4 months of waiting, but if you can predict what's going to happen in the future, you can make money, right? And the same with Metaverse last cycle. As soon as I was a little bit late, so to speak, but as soon as Zuckerberg changed the Facebook platform to Meta, I switched into Meta immediately, right? So it's kind of trying to jump ahead. If you see it all over socials and you see it all over X, you're pretty much already too late, okay? Just like quantum computing, it was all over socials here, and then what did we see? Massive pullback. So if I am late, which I was to quantum, I wait for a 50 to 60% correction, at least, before buying in. And this had a 50, 60%. And then I started to DCA in, you're all pretty much always going to get some sort of 50-60% pullback when you get a mass euphoria.
That's a good point about the metaverse plays. I remember that being like the next big thing, and everybody got into it, and everybody stayed too late, and everybody lost their ass. And that's pretty much what's could potentially happen again for all the narratives and altcoins out there. That's why it's good to get a different perspective. Then it's up to you guys to figure yourself, I'm going to take that information and run with it. I'm just going to discard that and do the same thing I've had before. How about this one? Chi-Town 312 Girl says, Wes, will you elaborate on Nansen? Been looking for something like that. So let's go through this, because everybody's asking about this now, which
absolutely. So Nansen's really cool. I mean, look, I spent about 200 hours watching different videos and tutorials, because there's so much that it does. But the main thing I use it for is to, if I find a token and I want to analyze it, so I want to audit it, I want to first of all check the smart money. So here we can see Trump token. What are the smart money doing? And bear in mind, these are the smartest people in the space. They have very high P&L rates. I can actually go and see their P&L rates, right? So I can see, hey, this investor has made $38 million profit in the last 87 days. Okay, so he's had a pretty good run. I can see this person's made $7 million in the last 90 days profit. So, you know, people who know what they're doing and making large amounts of money. And then I like to see, okay, so what are they doing with Trump? Are they buying? Are they holding? Are they selling? Now we can immediately see that they sold immediately, very early. So they started to dump and take profits. The blue one is the balance, and then the green is the holders. So we can see the whales were really starting to buy. So if I am looking for a floor on Trump, I'm looking for a floor on the smart money sells, because I know when the insiders stop selling, we're likely going to see slowdown and sell pressure. Then I look at the buys and sells. This is going to be horrific, by the way. Look at the amount of money some people made here. $27 million sold their entire bag as well. This is something you don't want to see. So if somebody sells half, that's a bullish sign, because they've sold 50%, they've taken some off the table, and they're leaving a moon bag in to run. This person sold all 21 million. This person sold 17 million, left 155K moon bag in, which is almost like a disrespect. 15 million, 14 million. There's so much you can do. You can go and check the balances of the top holders. We can see what they're doing. We can see what exchanges are holding the token. So here we can see Binance hold 4%, OKX hold 1.5%, Binance, again, Hot Wallet 1.4%, a Trump whale 1.25%, Robinhood Cold Wallet only have 0.55%. That's interesting. And then you've got all the other exchanges here. So it's really good to see who controls it. Binance, of course, want to control the market. And then probably another one's P&L, right? So I'll go into the P&Ls, which shows me how much profit everyone's in, especially the unrealized P&L. I can see how many profits have not been taken off the table. And if the unrealized P&L is very high, that means that people still have a lot of profit taking to do, especially if they haven't taken any off the table. There's a lot of holders in Trump, so this might take a while to load, but
well, it makes sense. And then everybody, so like if you're looking for that again is Nansen, Nansen, I think it's .ai. Yep. And if you use, like, you got a code SMC?
SMC, yeah, S for sugar, M for mother, C for Charlie. If you use that, I think you get a 10% discount or something, or maybe bigger.
Yeah. All right. So we got that one. How about this next question? Are you still believing in Soul Chat?
No. So I did sell, I did DCA out of Soul Chat. Let's have actually a quick look at Soul Chat and see if the smart money is, any smart money have been buying that one. So I really liked Soul Chat, especially with the Solana phone coming, right? Remember what I said about trying to see what happens in the future? Some of the Toli, who is the Solana founder, one of the founders, he actually was working with this project and communicating with them and talking about ideas. And I thought, hold on, the Solana phone is coming out soon. We might see this integrated into the Solana phone, the blockchain. It makes sense, right? Have all the transactions. And this was absolutely horrendous. Look at this. I mean, absolute wipeout, right? Yeah. And this is why, guys, this is why I always set either a mental stop loss. So let's say I buy in here. It's a dangerous place to buy. I'll say, okay, if it drops down here, I'm going to sell everything, right? So I've got some sort of a stop loss, a mental stop loss. I'm not going to hold and hope because what happened if I'd have held and hope, I'd have been down 99%. So I fortunately got in quite early. I took some profits off the table, but I held a massive moon bag, right? It was about 10,000. To me, it's massive. It's around 10,000. And I held it because it was free money. I couldn't lose. And I kind of had conviction that this might be integrated into the Solana phone. And then we had this, and I mean, this doesn't even look organic really for a fundamental project, right? Something with utility. It was an unrealistic sell-off. So I haven't gone and audited this, but I'm sure I would see a lot of insider selling if I went into this. So for me personally, no, unless the meta changes, unless it becomes a narrative. Smart money, look, completely dumped. No smart money are left holding this at all. So if I see smart money accumulating, we see inside information on chain first. So like if a bunch of smart money flooded into this, okay, something's happening. Maybe there's been a Solana phone partnership. Maybe it's getting listed on Coinbase. I don't know, but I would follow the smart money, and it looks dead on this one.
Interesting. All right. Well, that takes us up to the top of the hour almost. So people are asking, where can I find him on YouTube? And then what is SMC's channel? And we can take a look there. There's a link in the description. And you can find Wes's new YouTube channel, almost at 1,000 subscribers now. And then also on his X. And that's it. Wes, any last words of wisdom for the investors out there before we take off?
Legend. No, follow. If you haven't pressed the notification on Rob's videos, press it now, because this guy is dropping bombs. He's dropping knowledge. And go and follow his health channel, because his health channel is also amazing. I think you started that recently, right? Your push-up channel.
Yeah, the push-up channel. This is the, you can find this also linked in the description, called Monday Max Out. Very simple channel if you want to try to get in shape. It's easy to stay in shape. It's hard to get in shape. And then of course, my last words of wisdom are this: live within your means. If you're balling on a Dodge Grand Caravan, own it. Be happy with it. Great vehicle. Anyhow, everybody, that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, all that great stuff. Everything we just talked about and Wes's channels and everything you want to find is in the description, but that's it for today. So Wes, thanks for stopping by. We appreciate it. And guys, we will see you on the next one. Have a great